Parking is a little more complicated than it may seem on the surface. Believe it when we say parking at BNSF's intermodal facilities impacts not only facility capacity, but system capacity too. That means parking has an effect on both the loading and unloading of trains and the movement of trains on the BNSF system. Let's look at how we use parking within the footprint of a facility. We park units two ways, either by stacking containers up to 5 high on the ground, or in typical stalls, where hustlers and trucks can attach or detach and go. Stacked parking of containers is an efficient use of land because more containers can fit in a footprint. Side loader and wide-span cranes stack containers as they come off a chassis or a well car of a train. While stacked parking is an efficient use of space, it can be complicated if BNSF doesn't know when a container will be leaving the facility. For example, Customer 1 arrives to pick up Container A, which is on the bottom of a stack. The crane operator removes containers D, C, and B, stacking them in the next ground spot. Just as Customer 1 leaves, Customer 2 arrives, asking for Container D, which is now at the bottom of the new stack. The crane operator then moves all the other containers to get to D, which, as you can imagine, takes time. Knowing a customer's arrival time helps improve velocity, so containers can be stacked or parked by what time they will leave a facility. Stall parking, kind of like mall parking, doesn't require a crane, but does require a lot of real estate. As a truck delivers a box to the facility, it can be parked in a stall. Or when a trailer or container comes off a train, a yard hostler will shuttle it over to an open spot and leave it there ready for a truck to pick it up. BNSF can fit approximately 100 stalls on 2.5 acres of land. And one average double-stack intermodal train has 225 containers. If 5 trains are unloaded and loaded in a certain day, that means 2,250 stalls on more than 56 acres are needed just to load and unload those 5 trains that day. As we analyze capacity, we also need to take into account that containers and trailers are constantly moving in and out of the facility, either by train or truck, and need parking. For example, Train 1 arrives and is unloaded while additional units for Trains 2, 3, and 4 continue to arrive at the gate. As Trains 2, 3, and 4 are unloaded and then loaded, the parking starts to fill up as many of the boxes from the arriving trains remain in parking stalls. Now, containers for Trains 5 and 6 start to arrive and need parking too. Traffic within the facility can become congested as fewer spaces are available for parking. Yes, just like at the mall. The longer the offloaded containers remain or dwell, the greater the impact on facility capacity. And if there isn't enough parking for the containers coming off the trains, that means it'll take more time to load and unload trains. Containers will have to sit on trains until a spot becomes available, potentially delaying train departures. And if trains can't depart, then the available production track and support track fill up with incoming trains waiting to unload. If more incoming trains can't enter the facility, then BNSF's system capacity begins to decrease. And as we consider adding capacity, the amount of total parking depends, of course, on the available real estate at the facility. So in the case of parking, just like that at the mall, the turnover of spots is a good thing. More turnover means more volumes can move through the facility. Parking and its availability is critical to BNSF's capacity not only within a facility, but on the entire system.